Welcome back. Today we're going to go through how to draw a bin. Just a simple container that everybody's going to need. These are great. We print them all the time. We're going to go through step by step how to draw it in Onshape, and then we'll go through how to scale it to any size you want, label them, and then set them up to print. Let us know in the comments if you have any ideas for future projects. We're always looking for ideas, and we want to make sure we get them at the right level for people. Let's get into it. Here's our empty workspace in Onshape. We're going to go up to this menu and click Workspace Units, and make sure you're an inch for this one. And click the green check mark. We're going to start with a sketch on the front plane, and then click Front up here on the view box to go square to it. Then select the line tool, and we're going to draw this trapezoid. We want this line and this line to both be horizontal, and it looks like the constraint went on the bottom line, but we missed it on the top. So if you missed it, just click this horizontal button and click either of these lines if they're not horizontal already. Next, we're going to use midpoint. We want the midpoint of this line to be on the origin. And then we want the equals constraint for these two angled lines. What we've just done is we've made this line be on the origin, so if we move this point, it's going to grow equally on either side. And then by making these lines equal with a horizontal line up here, as the angle changes, it's going to stay the same on both lines. So now we can set some sizes. We're going to go with 4.5 inches wide because we can fit two of these side by side on our build plate. That's how we chose the size, but you can pick any size you want. And at the end, we'll go through how to resize this. It's very easy. We're going to make this 3.5 inches deep. And then the last thing is to set the angle for these sides. We only have to set it on one side. The other side will be equal. This dimension's between, that's the right plane and the left wall. And then we're just going to type in 10. So we get 10-degree sides. It'll slope in just a little bit to the bottom. And now our sketch is turned black, meaning it's fully defined. If we try to move things, nothing's going to go anywhere because it's all locked down. We've put enough constraints on it that it can't move anymore. We're going to extrude this now. So click the extrude button. It's going to automatically pick the contour, and then we just have to tell it how far, and we're going to go 8 inches. And now when we click the green check mark, we have this extruded upside down trapezoid. That's the beginning of our bin. Next, we're going to draw on the right plane. We'll draw a new sketch, and then click the left up here on the view box to go square to it. We're going to draw a triangle. So this needs to be a right triangle with a horizontal bottom and a vertical side. If you missed either of them, the horizontal button's right here, and then click that line, and this is the vertical to make that one vertical. Now, I missed this point, so we can make, we can make these two coincident, and then we're going to take this point and make it coincident with this top corner, and we can grab this line with a coincident and lock it to this edge. These two lines are constrained now. We could still move this point to change this angle, and that's the last thing we can move. So we'll put a dimension on this between the vertical line and the angled line and make this 30 degrees. And then we're going to do an extruded cut. So we'll hit the extrude command, and then we want to remove. And we want to go all the way through. So we're going to say through all. but our sketch is in the middle of the part, so it's only cutting out of one side. If we accept this, it'll look like that, and it only cut off half of it. So we'll go back in and edit it, and we'll click this second end position, which makes it cut in the other direction too. That's going backwards, so we've got to flip it. And then we'll tell this one to go through all as well. So if your preview doesn't look like this and you've got two arrows pointing in the same direction, you've got to hit one of these to flip it around, and then you'll cut through the whole thing. So now when we hit the green check mark and accept, it cut all the way through both sides of the part and left us with this, our first shape with this all cut off. We want to deal with these corners now. So we're going to put a 1/2 inch radius on them. We want this edge, and then the two on the other side. And we'll click the green check mark. Now that's finished. We're not going to put a radius on this bottom edge, and let's take a look at why. If we put our same 1/2 inch radius on here, because we're going to the layers down here, the overhang angle is just too great for a printer to do. So if you ever print a radius like this, it's going to be ragged up through maybe this high. And then the angle is steep enough that we can start to print it and it will print the rest of it well, but this will always not come out good. It's to be avoided. So we're going to delete this and we're going to put a chamfer on instead. So we can grab this chamfer tool, click the bottom edge, and it's going to automatically trace around the whole thing. And we're going to put a 0.3 radius on there, or chamfer on there, sorry. We click the green check mark. Now you can see it's made a 45-degree angle from this face going out, but it's leaving kind of a sharp corner here, and it's even sharper around this part. So what we're going to do is put a radius, a fillet, on this top edge. And you'll see, as we go around and click all these edges, it needs to be smaller. But it's putting a radius up high enough, and it's tangent to the 45-degree angle that we gave it. So it's going to print all of this overhang just fine, and then it actually gets steeper from there, which is fine. We could print all the way up to vertical, but we'll never print anything more than 45 degrees, which is good for us. We'll get really nice prints, and we shouldn't have any problems. The last thing we're going to do here, well, second to last, is shell this. So the shell command is going to remove all this material from the middle. And it's going to leave us whatever thickness we choose. That's how thick our walls are going to be. And it just gave us uniform wall thickness all the way through it. So if we section this, we can see that the walls are all the same thickness, and it followed the chamfers and the radius that we put on and carried it right through to the middle. This radius is concentric with that one. Same with all the radiuses. And if we cut it in the other direction, front plane, we can see that it worked in this direction too. Now we still have a sharp corner left in here, so we're just going to put one more radius on, the fillet tool, grab this. Our radius needs to be smaller than that radius, and 0.2 looks like it works. So we're going to accept that, and now we've got a bin. And we could print this right now, but it seems like a good idea to put a label on this thing. So we're going to draw one more sketch right onto this angled face. So click this, click a new sketch, and then up here, this text button, we can draw in a box. And then you can type in whatever you want. And the text is going to show up. Now it's way too big, but we can dimension it and it will change size. So if we make this 2 inches long, you can see that the text scaled. And what we're going to do is draw a line from this point in the middle right up to the midpoint of this line. Make it construction. Whoops. Go back in. Now make this vertical. And then we can tell it to be 200 thousandths from the top. So 0.2. And you can make this say whatever you want. You can fit lots of text on here. And then just do an extrude. We're going to remove material so that it's cutting in. And then just make this 10 thousandths deep. And now you've labeled your bin. And when you save this, we go down here to rename. Just name it with bin and the label. That way when you save your STL, if you ever want to print another screw bin, you can. And if you ever want one labeled something different, you can print that one instead. This is a size we just kind of chose for us. If you want a bin that's a different size, it's really easy to change now. We can go all the way back to our first sketch and tell this to be, 6. And it just gets wider. Accept it, and the whole thing just scales. Now you've got a 6-inch wide bin. You can also change the height. Make this 2.5. It'll get shorter. And now you've got a wide low bin. You can change all of the angles. And if you edit this first extrude, you can change this number too to make it shorter or longer. And it's going to think for a minute, but when it reloads, you get a shorter bin. You can do the same thing with this sketch. And if you just right click and edit text, and then you can make this something different. And when you click the check mark, it's going to change the text. It's still going to be the same height and the same distance from the top. You can change those too. But now it's got a different word in it. So we're finished with this. Let me set it back to the sizes that we wanted. This was 4.5, and this was 3.5. And then we wanted this to be 8. So I'll set this back to 8. And then, well, I guess we want this to say screws since we named it that. Go back in here, right click, edit text. Make this a bin for screws and accept it. Now, if we right click down here in parts, on the part we named bin screws, we can export it. And this is how you save it as an STL. So if your format doesn't say STL, choose it out of the drop-down list. Binary's cool. It wants to be in millimeters. You want fine resolution, and then download. So when you export, it's going to take a second, but then you're going to see a download, and it will be in your downloads folder. So we'll open up our slicer, and we can bring in the part that we just downloaded. We can fit 2 of them side by side if we want to, and set them right down on the bottom. I recommend a big layer height so you can print faster for this. I'm going to use 0.2. There's really no need for fine resolution on these parts. We'll go with 3 wall loops just so that they're pretty strong. And that should do it. Well, here it is, all done. Got screws written on the front of it, printed pretty well. And now we have a place to store all of our 3D printed trinkets and treasures. So let us know in the comments if this was useful for you. And if you have any ideas for future projects, let us know and we'll do our best to do them.